Bow hunting all comes down to a moment. And in the moment, you want equipment on your bow that will get the job done. Trophy Ridge products are the tools bow hunters trust. React technology sights, rests, stabilizers, and quivers to help a bow hunter be successful in the field. And those tools are from Trophy Ridge.
Ah, Smart Water Alkaline with antioxidant.
Whoa, that's refreshing.
And a 9.5 plus pH for every way you move.
I did take a spin class today.
Restoring like a pro. Smart Water Alkaline with antioxidant. For those with a taste for taste. Grab yours today.
At Midway USA, we put customers first. The Nitro Express shipping system is icing on the cake. It was a big investment of time and money to take super fast, low-cost shipping to a whole new level. The Nitro Express helps ensure same-day shipping and low shipping costs. We hope you enjoy the Nitro Express. We built it just for you. For just about everything for the outdoors, go to MidwayUSA.com.
I'm Larry Potterfield with Midway USA. Thanks for your business.
Welcome back to the Outdoor Drive Podcast. This is episode 314, and it is deer season. I'm kind of starting to get delusional, and I haven't even hunted that hard. That's kind of weird. This is your boy East Coast Trev, and I'm joined with the madman himself. What's up, buddy?
Dude, you're always delusional.
Well, this is true. This is very true. Always delusional.
The season has nothing to do with it.
Oh, it's just mentally in the mind of delusionalness.
Full time.
Yeah. Oh, dude, finally some coldness. Things are good. The leaves are changing. The deer are dying. There's been some stud shot.
Lots of studs.
Dude, lots. But it's kind of funny. As I was having a conversation the other day, we have a Snapchat group, and a bunch of the boys were in there, and our good buddy Steve-O from up north, Steve Champa, he got on there, and he's like, is everybody on the same boat as me? Like, these target bucks aren't hitting these normal scrapes that they've been hitting in past years, and like all this stuff. And it's kind of funny is so many people were on board with that. Like, it's nuts.
Everybody I talk to that I, trust and will confide in, everybody's saying the same thing.
Everybody?
It's crazy. Yeah.
Like normal communal scrapes that typically always have deer on.
Of my inner circles of people that
Yeah.
I talk to and trust to have conversations like that with, I haven't talked to one person that's like, nah, man, everything's normal. Everything's the same for me. Nobody's saying it.
No.
Yeah.
And it's super weird because, mind you, like, there's same thing, right? Like, they're killers. Like, these dudes are scrape killing dudes, and it's literally having a hard time. Like, and a lot of target bucks that are typically in certain areas this time of year have not been in those and on those scrapes. I have a handful of cameras out, and there's a couple of target deer I saw in August, but have not regulared in these big communal scrapes that typically this time of year. I could guarantee, and you're one of those people too, Steve, where by the clockwork, you know that deer is going to hit it at every single night within an hour span, every single night, and it's literally not happening.
Yeah, but even farther than that, even if it's not that big target deer, some kind of deer, 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds,
Right.
Something's gonna come through, in the area. And the other thing too is even if I don't know, home range change or food source change, by this time of year, I gotta think. Say it's a big target buck from last year or something like that. I got to believe he's going to take one little excursion.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to come scope the old ridge out just for a little adventure. And he's going to go check the old scrape, bam, get a picture of him, and then never see him again. That's fine.
Yeah.
But to not even get him to show up one time, it's kind of mind-blowing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and not hardhorn. Like, it's just, I don't know. It just it blows my mind, and it's not. I thought it was me. I kind of was going into the season with this outlook, like, I don't know, dude. The deer aren't doing what the deer typically aren't doing right now, And I thought I was just slacking at it, I thought maybe the oaks, this, that, those things roll through your mind, but I don't know. And it's not just me. It's not just you.
Mm.
There's a good amount of people that are on the same boat that those deer aren't
No.
typically doing what they
It's
normally
extra
do.
frustrating. And like for me, I've always like kind of looked at myself like I'm very patient. I don't get too excited too early. Like I know me, I know my strategy, right? It's all personal thing. Like I know where I've got my my scrapes and my cameras and stuff, and I know I'm not like early, I'm not summer rich, I'm not early season rich, but I know like this time of year is when like it should start firing off, right? So like I don't really get worried if it's not happening in July, August, even September. I'm starting to get a little worried now,
Yeah.
right? Like this is a time of the year where like it should have been firing off, and I'm not happy with my results at
No,
all. But
same.
I mean, it's all problem solving, and I'll figure it out or whatever. But like right now, I am definitely scratching my head.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous because but it's okay. You go back to the woodsmanship. You hunt. You have fun. You enjoy it. What comes comes. What goes goes. And it is what it is, dude. Like it's gonna happen. Like
It's
that's
just weird, right? Because like you you can look at a million different variables, right? Weather, crop rotations, mass production, acorns, no acorns, lots of right. This isn't the first time in my hunting career that
right.
I've seen all of these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like yeah, every year is going to be a little bit different, but normally you can draw off of like, oh, remember 2020 when it was like a heat wave in November and
Yep.
this is where I killed that buck because of those conditions, or remember that year where there was like a bunch of acorns and all the deer were here, or remember 3 years ago the acorns were just like this and this is where I found the deer. Like I cannot wrap my head around ever seeing, I cannot compare this year to any other year that I can remember.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like that certain oaks in that property are hitting at the third year, second year, first, whatever. You know that property because you've been hunting it for so many years. But those cameras are in place for those years, right? And you just know where to have them. And if you have a community scrape somewhere and that these deer regular, no matter what, every single year, and these deer aren't showing up, like
Right.
what do you do?
I don't know.
And I know that
You just gotta get mad. You just
Just-
gotta like hunker down. And I haven't got mad yet. I've been
Yeah.
frustrated. I've been like kind of like laying in bed at night. I ain't got mad at him yet though. It's soon, but
it'll happen.
it'll happen.
It'll happen. Yeah, no,
It will switch up.
and I mean it's not like deer aren't dying. There's some big freaking deer that are dying, dude. Some guys are just smashing home, man. And it's funny is you wouldn't think, and this is the other thing too. And I kind of started to take this into consideration because I was like, well, what do I need to do? Well, now I try and get some glass on something, right, and kind of see what's going on, and then just kind of take it back to it. Drove by, driving around today, this evening, driving around, and there's tons of deer in green fields. And it's October, and you're like, hold on, first frost, second frost last night. Okay, there shouldn't be deer in green fields. Last night, Mason came over to help me out and literally drove by a field, and there was a 140 with a handful of does, and he said in his whole entire ride, a 30-minute ride, there was literally deer in every single green field. Well, I don't hunt near green fields, so that would make some type of sense, I guess, but I wouldn't expect that it's the 15th or 16th of October and there's still deer in pounding green fields like heavily.
I mean, yeah, the fields are still green though. Like you can tell when they
Yes.
go dormant, they start changing color and all that stuff, right?
Right.
And like it doesn't I'm not like super surprised by that because if there is a lack of acorns in the area, like they're probably going to stay on that green a little bit
Right.
longer. But like the oaks are dropping somewhere,
Yeah.
right? And like
Of course.
the deer know they got to pack on those calories to get ready for winter.
So they shouldn't be
So-
eating green right now.
Yeah,
Or they
I don't know.
can,
Dude,
but
like
I don't think it.
so like one spot that I've set up pretty good with some cameras and some scrapes and like there's oak flats there. There's there's green field very close. Like one of my cameras, you can see a green field in the background of the picture, and I'm getting deer on camera fairly regularly.
Right.
Nothing that I want to pursue.
Hmm.
Right? So it's like, where are all
Oh.
the big bucks at?
Oh, camera just went off. Now we say it, we talk about it, and now we got to be about it. Huh. Yeah. Weird.
Squirrel.
No, it was a deer, but nothing big, just a deer.
Yeah.
So.
It'll happen.
Yeah. No.
It will happen.
Do you want to talk? Do you have any killers corners? Do you want to talk about the big deer?
I do have a couple killers corner. Oh, I just lost it too. Kenny Coslet's son, Waylon.
Yep.
With a big old moose.
So those guys, they have the camp next to the bear camp that I used to go to.
Yes.
Those guys are super awesome. They're guides in Maine. Really good dudes.
Little Gene Gunther, I think it's his third deer ever. Last year he shot his first 2 deer, buck and a doe, and then he got a doe this year. And where'd that other one go? I lost it now. Kevin Gray with his biggest deer ever. Bam. Little stud, little wide buck. So.
And Ben Stanton.
Oh, Ben Stanton, yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking that deer, dude. That's a sick deer.
It's a super sick
deer.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know the other shout out was Steve Ciampa shot an absolute stud of an 8-pointer last night.
Oh, I didn't see that.
No, it wasn't in there. It wasn't in there. He's in the Killers Gonna Kill Snapchat group, and he posted it up in there. He doesn't have social media, so he's a social media list right now.
Smart.
I know.
Smart.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah. Also, Josh Curtis with a second Connecticut deer, and there was another. Oh, Seth. First Tradbo kill.
Tradbo kill, yeah.
So he actually shot that deer in the middle recording this podcast. And it was like crazy because I knew Seth had been out with the Tradbo. He was pushing it pretty hard. And in the podcast, he mentions Tradbos. And like seconds later, Seth texts me that he got his deer with the old recurve. So that was freaking awesome.
And the Bo Daddy arrows, dude. Like he's been pushing hard to shoot a deer with that Tradbo. Like every single night he's out with it. And he had actually, funny enough, he's gonna be so mad I say this, but he was out with the Tradbo, and we were texting back and forth, and he had a buck almost into bow range, and his phone vibrated in his pocket, and he texted me, "Oh, you asshole! The deer was in range."
You spooked it?
Yeah. Well, we don't know, but he was saying that I was texting him back and forth, and his phone vibrated in his pocket.
Why's your phone on vibrate, man?
That's what I said. I said, "Who has their phone on vibrate? Like, that's a rookie move, bro. Rookie move." So, but no, it's shaping up to be a good year. I'm excited. I know there's gonna be, there's some big deer to be shot this year. I know there is. There's gonna be some couple of corkers across the board. I mean, there's guys shooting some just absolute monsters. But
that's where all the deer are. Where I'm not. Where
exactly.
Everybody else is.
Well, it always goes in a rotation. You know how this goes, Steve.
Yeah.
I don't have to tell you. Some guys are good and lucky some years, but those guys sit in the back burner. You just got to get that killer's going to kill mentality and go find them. That's just the way it goes, and it is what it is. So.
Oh, yeah. I'm not worried. I'll snap into it.
I'm not worried at all for you.
It's middle October, dude. Some guys haven't even been out yet.
No.
I ain't worried.
No. The good days in November are just right around
Sweet
the corner.
November.
It's about to happen. So, good podcast. I'm excited to get Fisher on and talk. It was super cool. He does a really good job with his program and what he's got going on. And I think he's a huge advocate for the sport, and I think everyone should have the same motto. I wish that we had an apprentice program here. It would just make it tenfold. I would quit my job tomorrow and run a guide service, but there's no point in it, in my opinion. Like, I think that program of having an apprentice license is the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Because so many people are like, how many people are like, oh, I want to learn how to hunt. Now they got to take the hunting course. They don't even know if they want to hunt yet.
Right.
So that's one of the good things about a state like that. But well, man, should we get Fisher on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's dive right into it. The Outdoor Drive Podcast.
On Broadway, I did a play that you probably never heard of called Our Mother's Brief Affair. I was actually the understudy for the lead role, but I got to go on when the dude got sick. So, like, 24 hours notice, they're like, you got this? Because you're up.
You're in.
Yeah, so that was freaking amazing. And, yeah, it's still doing the thing, man, trying to break the ice and, like, level up into the, like, guest star type of status within the industry.
Is it tough to like really break into it and kind of get into that? Or I mean, you have a master's in it, so you're a master, right? Like,
I am a master. Unfortunately, there's a lot more that goes into who gets hired than just are you a master. Part of that is that the sheer quantity of like insanely talented actors up here, I mean in the world generally, but especially around here, is so high, you know, like it's just by the numbers physically impossible that like anything other than a fraction of us is going to be employed at any given time at the level that we deserve to work at. You know, like I went to grad school at Yale, right? So I've met and worked with like, you know, 45, 50 of the best actors in America. And like most of them aren't working right now just because it's that hard, you know?
That's a hustle, man. That's crazy that like,
yeah.
And like, obviously, I mean, when you do get those star roles, like the pay is obviously good, but to get there, like you need to hustle, right? Like it's a game of hustle.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a game of hustle. They say it's a marathon, not a sprint as well, that like you have to stay in the hustle for a long, long time before it breaks. You know, it may never break, but you know, it's not like I'm going to try it for a year and see if I get famous and then quit. Like you got to be in it to win it for the most part.
I think that's in a lot of things in life, right? Like in a lot of industries, like you need to, like say for example, even the outdoor industry, like is super tough because like people come and go in the outdoor industry, but like you need to be seen regularly and you have to be, you know, there's a trustworthy aspect of it that like, oh, that person's actually real, you know, like it's not just a come and go type of thing, right? And I would imagine it's the same in the acting world.
Definitely. One of my my like the main acting chair at Yale was really fond of saying that like, oh gosh, now I've freaking lost it. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Went into my mind and then I lost the one that I was gonna say.
It happens. You forgot your lines.
Oh no, I remember it now. I remember now. Okay, it's the success mostly comes to the people who refuse to go away. And I've really taken that on. Like I'm just like, in spite of not getting a yes, I'm going to continue. You know? Yeah.
So why don't we crack into, I think is the greatest thing that's ever been done, is this whole learn to Hunt NYC. And like, what was the inspiration to that? And I know how it started, but why don't you tell the people how it started and kind of, and you know, for those that are new listeners that you might not know.
I'd say the way it got started is directly due to the fact that I have this weird thing of being an actor who also hunts. Because like when I first went up there to the Northeast and like was in this world, I thought everyone was going to hate me because I kill Bambi. You know, but what I found was that when I explained to people, like, well, I do it with a bow, and there's actually a really intense phobia around firearms. You know, so like doing it with a bow like really changes it for people. And then I eat, like, I'm like, I haven't bought meat in a grocery store in 20 years. And they're like, wow, that's really cool. I actually want to learn. And so I had a guest list, like an email list, whenever I was going hunting in grad school, I would email these people and be like, yo, you want to go? I'm going turkey hunting. And it just made me realize when I came to New York, like, I'm trying to find a way to make a living that's not bartending and waiting tables, because I really didn't enjoy that work. And I just thought, I mean, I have this knowledge, right? Like, I've been hunting since I was a kid. Like, someone who knows nothing, I could spend all day talking to them and they would like learn a shitload. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So I was like, okay, like I can do this. And so I just freaking made a website and was like, I just had this idea. Like, I'm just going to teach people to hunt as a guide, and I'll be like a DIY guy. We'll go on public land and I'll show you how to do it on public land in New Jersey. Like, you can do that. Like, I'm not an outfitter where it's going to take you around on an ATV and you shoot a big old buck, but like, if you want to figure out how to do it on your own, like, I'll show you. And that's continued to be what it is,
What do you think that, like, what or not think, but what are some of the things that you had to overcome to try and do that? Because that's not like an easy task, or it's kind of daunting to teach new people how to do such a thing, and especially in the Northeast where we all live.
Yeah, man. There are a lot of obstacles to it. I mean, the biggest was initially just that when I started it, I was living in an apartment in Jersey City, which is as densely packed as Brooklyn, New York. Like, it is wall to wall. Like, I'm paying a lot of money for a tiny apartment. Like, how do I like have the equipment necessary even to do this? How do I drive out like enough to be scouting and setting things up, There were also regulatory hurdles. When I started it, there was no apprentice license.
Right.
Do you guys have the apprentice license?
No, we don't, and it's sad, and we've been pushing for it, and we don't have it.
It's really a no-brainer. I mean, especially if your concern as an administration is that, there's not enough people taking it up. Like, I mean, crossbows and apprentice licenses are no-brainer.
Right.
So like when I started the business, people would email me. They'd find my website and they'd email me, or they'd call me and be like, dude, this is amazing. I want to come and learn with you. Like, are you free next weekend? And I'd be like, well, this is in October or November, and I'm like, well, you got to take hunter's ed. That's going to be in April, so take that class in April and then get back to me next year, and then I'll take you hunting. And, as a sales pitch, that's like the worst close you could have. Nobody, I got just a handful of people who had already kind of started the process and got the class or whatever. And then 2 years later, we got the apprentice license, and the conversation became, yeah, you want to go? Let's go. You just go out here, go online, buy a license, and I'll take you. And, it was totally a game changer. And from that, like, my business like doubled year after year until I became full time.
And when so now that you have the apprentice license, now those people are super green and have never even shot a crossbow, even know what a broadhead is. That
a lot of the time, I'm explaining all of that.
You literally take them through, like, okay, so I guess, all right, so use me as a dummy, right? So I call you and I say, hey, I'd like
easy.
to, well, that's,
Yeah.
hey, thanks, appreciate it.
You set yourself up for that one.
I did. So
No acting.
no acting needed. I got the job.
You got the part.
So, sorry. I call you up and I say, hey, I really want to learn how to hunt. Like, what do I need to do, and what does a day look like once we get to that point?
Yeah. What, so you want me to treat you? You just called me, and
exactly.
Sweet, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I can definitely take you out. It'll be no problem. We'll get you a license online. Basically, the way the day will work is I'll meet you in the morning at a shooting range, and we'll spend like an hour and a half. I'll teach you how to shoot. Make sure you're ready to be successful if we have the opportunity to harvest an animal in the evening hunt. And then we're going to go for a walk for an hour or two in the woods. And I'm just going to introduce you to the basics of like how you could plan a hunt of your own. It'd be like focused on like how to track deer, I'm going to teach you about like deer signs and what they mean and like where you can hunt and when you can hunt and that type of stuff. Then we'll take lunch, and then we're going to go into a tree stand or a ground blind, most likely. Sometimes we just sit on the ground, but usually it's usually in a tree stand. Sometimes in a ground blind, it's usually baited, and we'll sit there until dark or until we shoot an animal. And if we shoot an animal, then we'll track it, and I'll teach you to gut it, and then we'll take the whole carcass to a butcher, and we'll give it to them, and they will process it and cut it and package it for you, and then
Midway USA brand product designers have one straightforward goal: develop high-quality, technically sound products and deliver them to customers at reasonable prices. If you are immersed in the shooting sports industry and pay close attention to every single detail, you know our products are built right and stand up to everyday use. Who has shooting mats and range bag systems to hunting clothing and just about everything for the outdoors? Log on and shop 24/7 with super fast shipping. MidwayUSA.com.
Anyone can follow. It takes something special to be an original, which is why the 2025 Lincoln Navigator SUV arrives with new ways of surrounding you in luxury, including the ultra-wide 48-inch panoramic display and the multi-sensory Lincoln Rejuvenate experience. A true original never stops evolving. So meet the 2025 Navigator, the original that's all new and better than ever. Learn more at Lincoln.com. Lincoln and Navigator are trademarks of Ford or its affiliates.
For almost 50 years, Midway USA has been America's go-to source for just about everything for shooting, hunting, and the outdoors. Go to MidwayUSA.com to see our latest deals and promotions and take advantage of our super fast same-day shipping. If you need a cooler, a new fishing rod, another rifle, ammo, or a reloading press, you can find it all at MidwayUSA.com. Thanks for your business.
the meat is yours to enjoy.
That's awesome. I think that's just like, I don't know, because I think that for so many people it's so daunting, right? Like there's so many people that go and get their hunter ed and then they don't know what to do. And I've ran into this a million times where there's so many people that they just don't even know what to do and they don't know who to find as a mentor, or there's so many people, and especially since 2020, like so many have gotten into the sport and they think it's so great, but they don't know the next steps.
Yeah. It's a really steep learning curve, man. Really steep. It's like it's almost like one of these exponential curves, I feel like, you know what I mean? Like it takes so long to like get the curve moving upward where you're really gaining knowledge. But then once you do, it builds on itself. You know what I mean? Like when I started guiding, I've been hunting my whole life, right? By the time I started this thing, I was like, I know how to hunt and I know how to shoot. And then I started teaching people and I started hunting every day. And then questions about like, well, what phase of the rut are the deer in? Like, well, I can tell you exactly. You know what I mean? Or like, what does a fresh scrape look like? Well, it's like, well, no, that scrape wasn't there yesterday. So that is a fresh scrape. And okay, now I see another scrape and I'm like, yeah, that's a fresh one. You know what I mean? And that type of knowledge just deepens and deepens and deepens when you do it every single day. And as a person just starting out, it's like, how do you even like begin to tap into that? You know what I mean? And the thing I focus on more now is just like on being successful in the shot opportunity, because at least, with me on the day, that's the main responsibility that they have. And it's also, as we know, one of the most difficult things to execute. So I spend a lot of time with people on the range. I actually employ my acting skills. I get a lot of compliments for it. I make up scenarios. I spend some time explaining like what the deer's body language means. When he's bobbing his head like this, it means like he is seeing something he does not like. If you see them stomp, like they are thinking they're gonna run. Like if we get a shot, you got to take it immediately. So then I'll say, okay, now sit here and let's pretend all the way through, pretend that it's a hunt. Get bored, take out your phone, sit there looking at your phone. Hey man, there's a deer. What are you going to do? And 9 times out of 10, people take their phone and they go, oh shit, and start moving fast. And I'm like, hey, no, slow down, right? And then like playing that game through the whole process and like making people meh at a target and like, okay, shoot right now, shoot, 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 shoot. To put them through those paces before they're in front of an animal, it really helps. Really helps. And yeah, it's like, again, if you don't have somebody to teach you that, it's a really hard thing to learn on the fly. You're going to make a lot of mistakes.
And that might take many seasons to try and figure some of that stuff out. Like, I mean, because you have to, and not even that, but if you just started off hunting, you're not going to be in front of animals right away. So you're then going to take so much time
That's right.
to try and figure out X, Y, and Z. Like that's not an easy thing.
That's right. I recommend a lot of people do squirrel hunting for that reason, because you can get a lot of at-bats with, trying to shoot something like, oh, it moved and all that,
Victor, do you ever find people come with almost too much of a preconceived knowledge? Like they do a bunch of research and they show up with like, because this is one thing that I worry about a lot. Like we're in the age of information, right? So you can go on YouTube and podcasts and all that stuff, and like you can obtain more knowledge than you kind of need, especially if you're just starting out, right? So like people will, they know this and they know that, and it's like sometimes it's like, dude, pump the brakes. Like that's like 202. Like we're on 101 here. Like let's stick to the basics and let's focus on like the little things first before we worry about wind and thermals and moon phases and barometric pressure and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
I would say you almost hit the nail on the head with like what I deal with the most actually is people's preconceived notions of what it is. I don't deal with many people. I do have some people who are like, what's the moon going to be? And they're like texting me and I'm like, chill out.
Yeah, right.
The deer don't care about the moon. Just stop it.
Right.
All that matters is the wind, and are they feeding there right now during daylight? That's all that matters. Let me worry about that. But the thing that I'll get is I'll get people who have watched a lot of meat eater type of shows where people are out west. I'll get people who have like sort of like fantastical ideas about like what hunting is and should be. And both of those, it takes me a lot of negotiation and time, and I'm not always successful, but I'm usually successful at like reorienting them into understanding what reality is, like what hunting is really like, and then like saying, okay, let's do it this way instead. An example of that is I had a client who came to me with a recurve. He wants to harvest his first deer with a recurve. And he would very much like to do this by spot and stalk. And I'm like, okay, I think this is a bad idea. I think we shouldn't do that. I think I should teach you to shoot a crossbow, and then we'll go shoot one over a bait pile, and then maybe we'll work up from there. And he's like, well, I understand it's a lower success rate, so let's just do it this way anyway, And I'm like, okay, I guess fine. I mean, you understand we're probably not going to kill anything, so I'll take you spot and stalk hunting for whitetail, which is a ridiculous thing to do as a beginner, right? But eventually, over time, I finally did convince him to try the crossbow, and he realized like how ridiculously much harder it was, right? He had some encounters where like I had him in a tree stand. I at least got him into the tree stand over a bait pile. A buck comes in right at dark, and at 10 yards, he put it like 1.5 feet over its back, and I'm just like, man. Right. So we did the crossbow for a bit, and then finally he got a compound, and he really practiced with it, and like took him out this year, and he got his first deer. The first one he shot way over its back because it was target panic, and he recognized it, and then he got a second chance and just like, put it right on the button. And I mean, it was emotional for me to finally like get him there, and get him a deer. But so but yeah, I deal with this kind of thing. I'm constantly telling people they come to me and they'll say like, I want to hunt with a rifle. I want to hunt with firearms because that's where I'll have like the best chance of making a good clean kill. And I'll have to explain to them that that's good and all, but we'll actually have a lot better odds of success if you'll come hunt with the crossbow. Because we can hunt during the rut, and we can hunt in the suburbs and go to all these places that you can't go with the gun. And the way I explain it to people is that, like, when gun season comes, everybody goes, and so the deer disappear. Like you can't do much being able to shoot 150 yards if you can't see a deer. So some people are open to that conversation and go, oh, okay, yes, let's go crossbow hunt in November, and they do really well. And then other people are really stuck in that rut, you know what I mean, and it's hard to get them out of it.
That's and I would imagine that, like Steve said, people just read the wrong things and think that they have to shoot a 20-point buck. Like that's just the way that deer hunting goes, right?
Yeah, well, those people actually I've learned to nip in the bud. Anytime anyone asks me about like trophy size or something, I just say I'm not the outfitter for you.
Right.
Because we don't have that big a deer here in Jersey, and that's just not what I'm focused on.
No.
There's so many at least nice bucks I could have shot or put clients on if I hunted them right, but I don't hunt them right. There's like that nice buck, and then there's some does there too, and I want to get this guy their deer, and this is the only spot I got right now. Then fine, I'm gonna bust that buck out and I'm gonna get them their doe, because that's my priority. So those I used to take those people because I just needed the jobs, and now I'm just like,
Have you ever had a situation where it just so happened that first deer that came out was like a decent buck and someone shot it for their first deer ever?
Oh yeah, and he's spoiled for life, man.
It happens.
Spoiled for life. This guy, and it was the craziest thing. It's actually one of my most viewed videos on TikTok, as a matter of fact. I took this guy, and it was him and a buddy, and we took him on public land in New Jersey, one of the heaviest hunted pieces of public land out there. But I had found it's got a lot of deer on it, and in the rut, it's pretty good because they just don't care about the pressure anymore, and they're just, doing their thing. And so I had these guys set up like on the very corner of the property, just in like a tree line, on the edge of a pheasant field, and a freaking 10-pointer walked out in front of him, stood there facing him for like a minute, and then turned broadside, and he smoked it. And my guide, I wasn't actually with him, I had hired a second staff guide. He filmed the whole thing, and like, it was awesome. Yeah, he's been spoiled ever since then. He's like, we didn't shoot any deer, or we didn't get a big one this time. I'm like,
good for him.
Yeah. I always find that the people who have to suffer the most are the happiest at the end. Like
100%.
this guy, it took 3 years to get him a deer, like all this stuff went down, and like he finally gets a deer, and he's like so happy, and I'm happy too. Or like the person who has to like sit through rain like all morning long, and then get back in the stand cold and wet, suffer through the cold, and then a deer comes and they get their deer, and it's like, I did something that was like hard, and this meat means a lot.
Yeah, but I think that those well-earned ones, those are the best ones. Those are the best clients. Those are the best because they understand it. And going back to it, like all these people that have this anticipation or this expectation of X, Y, and Z, and then they come there and they get humbled. I think it's a good thing because then they understand when they're in the real world. You did a lot of the work and the time and the effort, the blood, the sweat, and the equity was done by you. So when they go out into the real world and they're trying to do this on their own, they need to understand that it is a lot of work and it doesn't come easy.
Yeah, not at all easy. Even baiting the deer, like, yes, it's a lot more successful practice than hunting them without bait, but it is work, bro. I'm lugging 50-pound sacks around the woods, like hiking up a ridge, carrying this thing. in a lot of cases, like it's a workout.
There's a fine line there too, right? Like you want your client to understand the challenges and like it's not instant success, but you also don't want them to have to grind so much that they lose interest.
Yeah, exactly. I always am like straight up with my clients and putting it in perspective that like, in Jersey we can bait the deer and so it's easier than other places. But I've still like felt really positive about it overall because exactly it's like you want them to have been through that process of shooting a deer and gutting it, which is a huge hurdle for a lot of people, and getting through tagging it and this whole thing so that they like actually know how it works and get those reps for like, oh my gosh, there's an animal right here like looking at me and it's moving and dealing with all of that stuff. It's like, you take a kid fishing, you're not going to take them like, for like muskie on the first day. You're going to take them for like bluegills with a bobber and a worm and make it as easy as you can till they get the hang of it, and then eventually they'll move on to other things. You know what I mean? It's like that.
Yeah, but over the bait must not be the easiest thing neither, because I mean everyone thinks that if you put bait out, then you're just gonna it's an automatic success. There's still a skill to hunting over bait. It just doesn't come that easy.
Absolutely. It's like there's an art to doing it more effectively, and it works up to a point. Um, it's a really good way to make deer nocturnal. Because you have a really high rate of deer encounters where they bust you. You know what I mean? Because it's like if you have a bunch of bait, that deer, and under a more normal circumstance, the deer just kind of moves past you, right? Maybe it's feeding and it's going really slow, but it's not like concentrated feeding unless you're just under like that magic oak tree or whatever, right? So like you spook fewer deer, you know? And so like when they're baiting, they might spend like 30, 45 minutes right next to you and eventually the wind swirls.
Right.
Unless you got a really good wind, eventually the wind swirls and they go, oh shit, there's a oh, and they don't come back, right? And they know exactly where your tree stand is, So like things like that. Also, if you're allowed to bait, that means everybody else is allowed to bait.
Right.
That's actually a lot of why I ended up starting baiting, is because I was trying to hunt public land without bait and finding that, okay, I'm just going to find the best sign. Well, guess what? The best sign is around other people's bait piles.
Are you allowed to bait on public?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. There's a few places where you're not, like individual properties where you're not, but in general, that's the done thing. Yeah, people are baiting it pretty heavily at times. I've seen feeders on WMAs.
And
Roger was talking about that a couple weeks ago in Jersey, and one of the big things that he runs into is he'll get his bait pile started pretty early in the summer and have like the deer, patterned or whatever, and then like a week before the season, all his deer disappear. And then he goes and takes a walk and finds out there's a new
Everybody else started
pile
feeding them.
Yeah.
So there's all of those kinds of things. It also means that like the other people hunting near you are also pressuring the deer pretty hard. So like being there on the day that they're going to actually show up in daylight is tricky. I've also learned things where like, this is the other thing about it, is that like putting trail cams on bait, I've learned a lot. Like I've gotten so much better at understanding what the deer are doing and why. I'll see that like, okay, they're coming at night, right? They're coming at night and they're chasing each other around at night. And then I'll go there and hunt in the morning and then there's no chasing. And then I eventually figured out over time that like, well, on the warm days, they quit chasing at dawn. And on the cold days, they keep chasing and chasing and chasing. And then there's a day that I don't hunt because it's a freaking tropical storm. And my cameras are lit up with big bucks. And it's like, oh, right, the storm cooled them off. It's temperature. Temperature is what does it in the rut, right? So like
darker too. The clouds, right? A little bit less sunlight.
Anything cool, right? They're too hot. That's the only reason they're not chasing, is they're too hot. Otherwise, they're freaking ready to go. And so like I learned that through baiting. right? And I learned things like how good their memory is. I know non-baiting, you learn this too, but it's like if you get busted by deer and they see you in the tree stand, they come back to the bait site. Well, they're gonna maybe circle downwind of it, but they're definitely, as they come in, they're gonna look right at that stand and see if you're there again. And so in order to be successful again, you have to move the tree stand like 30, 40 yards to the other side of it so that when they come and they look at that tree, they're like, oh, okay, I guess the coast is clear. So it's always a constant game like that. And also the wind is crazy too, because it's like, well, I don't know, the wind around here is just, it's my nemesis, man. It never does what it should.
On the bait piles, do you find do they come in, like, do they circle the bait pile and come in on the downwind side, or they typically just come and go the same way every time? And like, do you find, like, do they tend to come in the daylight more on certain winds, or does it not matter as much?
I wouldn't say that certain winds affect whether or not they come into the daylight. They definitely will circle downwind before entering the bait, the older and more pressured they are. Bucks, bigger bucks definitely do that. Old does do that. And particularly later in the season, in September, when nobody's haunted them for 6 or 7 months, excuse me, they'll come strolling right in. Right. But, they come strolling in as a group of 5 and you shoot one. Now they're circling downwind. They're being a lot more careful. They're not coming until right at dark instead of coming at 3 and then 5 and then 6. You know what I mean? So it's like it's a progression.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, the bait thing is just crazy to me because them deer think differently. Like it's not the same. I don't know. It's just crazy. It's like the deer in the Midwest. Like if you hunt a drainage ditch, them deer always looking up because every single drainage ditch that they go into, they're so used to it. Yeah, so they seem as if like a lot of deer when you hunt them on bait too, like they come in there just edgy. Like they do. They're 100%. I've done it a couple of times. We have some bait zones here in Connecticut, and them deer come in and they're just, like you said, they sit off a little bit and they watch and they pay attention. But them big mature bucks, when they get to that bait pile, I've missed deer on the bait pile because they literally freak out as soon as they hear a noise because they've related it so much with human interaction. It's crazy.
They're in there like anything could happen. Anything can happen. Yeah, they duck.
They're on such edge, right?
I've had so many clients get us busted with movement, man. Like that's been so much of the lesson I have to teach them. Like, these deer, they are not the deer that you see in your neighborhood, which aren't worried about danger. Like these deer are really worried about danger. So like if you move at the wrong time, like they're gonna see it. You know what I mean? But it's hard to tell people that and have them appreciate it until they experience it and go, wow.
Like you said earlier, Fisher, you got 5 deer come in, you shoot one. You've got 1 dead deer and 4 educated deer.
That's right.
So, maybe it cools down a little bit. A couple of weeks goes by, you go back in there and 4 educated deer come in and you shoot one. Now you have 1 more dead deer and 3 really educated deer. So eventually, and then they pass on the genes. And after a couple of years, like you just have a giant herd of really smart deer that know that they can associate that corn pile with danger.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're passing on that association as much as I believe that it's a learned thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm always telling clients that deer's and really all wildlife's behaviors are directly related to their learned experiences. Like you can't. Like they'll say like, is it okay if I wear bug spray or sunscreen? And my view is that like, does the deer know that the bug spray means there's a human present? Probably not. Right. So if it smells the bug spray, it might actually be curious. Who knows? It's probably not frightened by the bug spray. Also, if it smells the bug spray, it definitely smells you also. So we're already screwed. you know.
Yeah, they would have to like smell the bug spray and then have a bad interaction to associate that smell with bad
Exactly.
interaction. But I do so back to the whole like passing it on. I do think that, like, say you have like an educated doe, she's been around the block, she associates bait piles with danger, and she's got fawns. So
Yeah.
she starts coming to the bait pile and she's edgy, she's looking around, she's like, she's seen this before. I feel that those fawns, like she's teaching those fawns.
Yeah,
So
I
then
think you're right.
a year or two later, those fawns learn from their mom how to act.
I think that's
So
right. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I just meant like genetically. I didn't.
Yeah. It's just learned. It's learned. It's like that mama doe that comes in, like you were saying, on public land, and you watch her, and she looks up at that stand that's been there for 10 years because she knows that every time she walks by that stand, somebody's up and in it, and they've missed her 3 times or whatever, and she's just on edge to that point. It's got to be tough with newer hunters, right? Because they're not used to that non-movement. They're not used to that.
No.
It's definitely a lot tougher.
Anytime I get one of those people to successfully harvest like a big deer, or at least just like one that's like 2 or 3, I'm like, it feels really good because, as we know, those deer are different.
Right.
They are so much more careful.
Right.
You know what I mean? And most of the time when those deer show up at a bait pile, client blows it. Too much movement, just too much. Like other deer that don't notice that thing in the corner of their eye, like this deer's like.
Join us at a Friends of NRA event where freedom, fun, and firearms come together like nowhere else. With more than 600 events held across the country, there's always one happening near you. From exciting games to exclusive auctions featuring one-of-a-kind firearms and gear you won't find anywhere else. Whether you're a lifelong hunter, a competitive shooter, or simply passionate about defending freedom, there is a seat for you. Visit friendsofnra.org to find an event near you and get ready for a night you won't forget.
Hey guys, this is Melissa Bachman. Are you ready to stop spooking deer before it's even time to hunt them? Then you need the new Flex S Dark cellular trail camera from SpyPoint. With a no-glow flash option, long-lasting solar power, and a ton of settings that can be changed anytime through the SpyPoint app, there are no more excuses for letting your deer get wise before the season even starts. So check it out for yourself and see why the SpyPoint Flex S Dark is the unstoppable and undetectable scouting tool you need for your next hunt.
Midway USA has a huge selection of rifle scopes, plus all the necessary scope rings, bases, mounts, and scope mounting tools to get you on target quickly. We've also got shotgun scopes, pistol scopes, red dot sights, and night vision and thermal imaging optics to serve a variety of different applications. Our offering of weapon lights and laser sights supports a variety of self-defense and target scenarios. Hunters and long-range shooters will appreciate our wide selection of binoculars, rangefinders, and spotting scopes from all of the top brands. For just about everything for shooting, shop MidwayUSA.com.
Got you, bro. I'm out. I watched it happen once already this year.
Yeah. Well, like you were saying earlier too, like there's 2 things going on there. You get swirly winds. So this is why I don't even like hunting field edges. I don't like having that many deer around me for a long period of time. I'd rather catch them, go by me. It's either I'm shooting it or I'm passing it, and it's gone.
Yeah.
Shoot or pass, and it's gone. You get all those deer around you. 1, wind can swirl, and 1 catches your wind. And 2, that's a lot of eyes. Like you might be watching these deer over here, but like you lose track of the deer over here, and you make one movement, and 1 deer catches them, and you're done.
Yeah, man.
It gets tough when there's too many deer around you.
It really does. It really does.
We did have an Instagram question. It said, question, with the apprentice, this is from Urban Pursuit, with the apprentice license in Jersey, do they have an earn a buck as well?
So they have the same exact everything as a regular license. The only thing that's different is they have to hunt with a mentor. So yes, they do the same earn a buck season, where it's like the first 2 or 3 weeks of the season you have to shoot a doe. Yeah, but it's not like later in the season they have to earn a buck or anything like that.
So how does that work? So in the beginning of the season you have to do an earn a buck, but once it gets to a certain point you don't have to do an earn a buck anymore. You can shoot a buck.
Yeah, so we have areas in New Jersey that they're saying have like 120 deer per square mile. And in those areas, we have unlimited doe harvest with baited crossbows for that reason. And but of course, still most people want to shoot bucks. So what they've done is they give you the first. Sometimes it ends up as 2. This year it was 3 weeks of like a pre-season, basically, where you can hunt with a bow, but you have to shoot a doe before you're allowed to shoot a buck. Yeah,
Which isn't a bad thing.
it's great. Love
How
shooting
many
does.
how many deer per square mile did you say?
120.
That's a lot.
We got a lot of deer here.
That's
man.
a lot of deer per square mile.
I think
Like we don't have that big a deer, but if you want to shoot a bunch and like help the world, like come on, man, we need
Yeah.
you. Yeah,
I think we got to do a weekend
Can I get
trip.
my apprentice license?
you can do it with a regular license. Why do you want? I mean, you could buy it.
No, I was just being a smartass.
That's a weekend trip, dude. New Jersey, just an absolute beatdown. Like I'm
Whack
all
some
about
does.
that.
There's like county park programs here that you can get into where they require you to shoot 2 does before you shoot a buck, and they're just jammed with deer. Like, and they're not that pressured because it's all, permits and stuff that are like $60, and you've got like you and 15 other people hunt this county park that's like got hiking trails and stuff, but it's just like jammed with deer, and you just like bait them and shoot one every time. Awesome.
I'm okay with that. Like I'm not mad.
But it's like I'd like some deer meat. Okay, cool.
And it comes that readily.
Yeah, man, it's fun.
So think about this for 1 second. And I know that like you, just like us, we don't really buy meat in the store, but like those deer that are in those county parks, what do you think? And I've asked this question to many people, is like those urban deer like that, they're eating the rhododendrons that have pesticides and all this stuff in. Do you think that that's transferable into the meat?
Man, probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about like a bean field. They're out in a soybean field and they spray it with glyphosate. Like the deer are eating it. They're not like, oh, they sprayed it today, I'm not going to eat that. So I mean, like basically, I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, everything's probably screwed, and there's like a really clear reason why not. I'm just gonna live my life.
Yeah.
I feel like there's way less people spraying their rhododendrons in their backyard.
Yeah.
Every farmer is spraying their corn and their soybeans and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So like
and heavily.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it's
most people aren't really spraying their grass. Though they do. They put like weed and feed on it and stuff.
Right.
There's definitely stuff that gets done, but
it's just to me, I mean, it's just always that crosses my mind, right? Like there's just so much chemicals out there now that are in those urban deer, right? But there also, like you said, there's a ton that they put pesticides and stuff on soybeans and corn and all that other crazy stuff too. But I don't know. There's just so much fertilizers and chemicals in those urban deer.
What I worry about is the ducks.
Oh.
I worry about the ducks. Yeah, because all the like swampy areas around here, like, is where the like toxin goes. You know what I mean? So it's like I do worry sometimes about like, what am I really eating when I'm eating a duck that I've shot around here?
Right.
You know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm like, like in a week and a half, we're gonna have our early duck season, and we're gonna shoot wood ducks, and like, there's 50 ducks on the lake that I hunt right now. There were 0 2 weeks ago. So they're not ingesting that much on the grand scale of things. They'll be mostly gone in a month. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like they're living their whole life.
Yeah.
So who knows? But I do worry about it.
I look at it this way. I don't really think about it because I know no matter what, it's 1,000 times better than anything that's from the grocery store that was grown in some
100%.
So it's like it's lesser evil, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's kind of crazy, and I just it kind of brings me back to like the whole foraging thing, right? Like they say, like, don't pick mushrooms on the side of the road because the carbon monoxide that comes out of the cars and the wash off from the fertilizer goes into the mushrooms and all this other, you know what I'm saying though? And
Man.
that's like a common thing. And I just always in the back of your mind, right? Like don't tell me that I don't, dude, listen, if I see a patch of ramps on the side of the road, we're eating them for dinner. Like that's life. Like it's going to happen. Don't tell me or not, but it's always in the back of my mind, right? Like,
yeah, definitely.
I feel like though too, if like the soil and the chemicals, like you're talking about, like runoff from cars and stuff.
right.
If it was really that bad, I don't think those ramps would look that healthy. Like, do you think they would be that like lush and green and look like normal ramps if they're just like sucking up poison?
I think it's like you're worried about like heavy metals. Yeah, like micro amounts of heavy metals that might like accumulate in your body over time. You know, it's probably stuff like that is what you got to worry about. Not so much that like, yeah, you eat it and you're going to die because it's like poison.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna eat it, and I'm still gonna kill those deer in the urban area. It is what it is. It's just the way that it goes.
Exactly, and I'm probably healthier doing it than people who are just going to the grocery store and then sitting on the couch eating chicken wings.
1000% Fisher. I'm in agreement with it, and that's why people come and find you so that they know how to live off the land.
Hell yeah.
Is there any like crazy scenarios that you've been in with new hunters? Because I could only imagine that there's definitely been some crazy things that have happened where you're just like, I can't believe this happened, or you have to talk somebody through something, or.
Dude, there've been so many. I'm not sure. It's like that's one of those questions that I'm immediately like, oh, that could be a lot of things, or I don't know. I don't even know where to go. I mean, I've had people be afraid of heights and not tell me about it effectively enough. So like I take them there and then I get them like they get like 3/4 of the way up the ladder and then they're like paralyzed. And I'm like, are you good? Like, what's up? And then we end up having to like just try to sit on the ground somewhere because of that. I've had a guy be paralyzed. He couldn't shoot a buck that went by. Like I got him into the stand. And then he was just like, this. And I'm like, okay, there's a buck. I actually grunted and I blind grunted and this like pretty nice 8-pointer was coming right at us. I was like, okay, he's going to go behind us. You're going to have to stand up to shoot him. And he's like, I can't stand up.
Because of the height or because of buck fever?
Because of the height. It was like he was on a hang-on stand, which even for myself,
yeah,
I was a rock climber in high school. And when I got on a hang-on stand, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Where's the ground? So, I mean, it's understandable that a person who's actually phobic of heights would deal with that. But yeah, I was so annoyed, man. I was like, the buck was right there. The time it probably would have been the best buck a client had shot too. But, what else? I've had cases of people who just like don't want to trust me. Those always end up interesting, or it's like they end up taking bad shots or doing things, and I'm just like, I told you not to do that. What else? God, crazy things, man. It's if you hadn't asked me, I would have had a really good story.
Yeah, I bet. That's how it typically goes. Yeah, it's probably just it. I mean, at this point, it's just second nature for you, right? Because you've had so many clients that and you know how to talk yourself into them and through them, and it's just and the thing too is that you prepared yourself to have to deal with some of this stuff because some of the people that you're dealing with, and I would imagine also you probably learn from some of them because they 100% have a different outlook where the three of us have hunted our entire lives and we're kind of set in our ways, and newer hunters I love being around newer hunters and talking to newer hunters because they look at things in such a different manner than we do.
Yeah, I've absolutely learned things from clients. One that I remember that's been like so big is, I hang a lot of tree stands. I use a lot of climbing sticks, and I was using the like factory, lineman belt with a prusik knot on it forever. And then this client is like, he was getting into it on his own, and he gets a rope man and puts that thing on there. And, so he was like, I want to like show me how, let me do this. And like, he was doing that thing. And I'm like, dude, that would change my life to have that thing. You know what I mean? To have one hand operation so I could change my length while I'm doing this. And so that's just one example of that kind of thing has happened many times. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy how they come in with a different aspect or a different outlook on things, and
when you look at it fresh, like you find things that somebody has missed for sure.
It's like taking a friend into the woods scouting with you or whatever, shed hunting or whatever, because when you step into a block of timber, you think that you know where those deer come from, what they're doing, how they do things, and then you have somebody with a new perspective on it, and you're like, I never thought of that. I can't believe that they're coming from right there. How did he know that? No,
I've had that happen before where they've been like, do you think maybe it went like over there and did this? And I'm like, maybe it did.
Sometimes you can just be clouded up with too much knowledge, right? You over analyze everything, and it's like too much. Where like a new hunter could come in and just be like, "Why don't we just do this?" And you're like, "What do you mean just do that?" Like there's so much. Actually, you know what? That might work. That's actually a good idea.
Definitely.
And the problem with me also is that like at least 80% of the time, they're wrong, and I know they're wrong. So it's hard to like stay open to the possibility that they're right.
Yeah,
and politely tell them that we're not going to do that idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe next time.
Exactly.
For today, let's just try this.
Yeah, I've definitely said with that tone, that's not going to
work. Maybe, but let's try my way first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Fisher, I do have one last question before we cut this thing loose. Fisher, what drives you outdoors, my friend?
Oh, man. Gosh, open Pandora's box with that question. I think right now the thing that's really getting me out there is the sense of adventure and the joy of food. Those are the two things really driving me. There's obviously not a ton of adventure in whacking does over a bait pile, but there is a lot of adventure in the elk hunt that I just did this year. And in all those cases, like I just love cooking this meat and sharing it with people, and it's what gets me out there every day.
So was it your first elk hunt that you have ever been in?
Oh, it was my second hunt. First successful hunt.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you.
What state?
Utah.
Sweet.
I did the spike hunt in one of the premium units. I saw some sweet bulls, man.
Yeah.
I saw some really nice bulls. It was a weird feeling because it was like, go away. I don't want you. I need a spike. Give me a cow.
Yeah, that's what Brian did.
Yeah,
same thing.
Oh, yeah?
And we had him on a couple weeks ago, but same thing. He had some studs in bow range. Two of them. Him and his buddy could have doubled up one morning, and they just didn't have a tag for a bull.
Yeah, man, it was great. I hunted Colorado the year before, and was like, there's just so much pressure, and I wanted to be able to give it more time. And of course, season starts pretty early here. So, but their season opens August 15th. So I was like, I can go there and hunt for a couple of weeks and like figure this thing out,
Yeah.
So that's what I did. It was awesome.
Do you think you're gonna try and get a bull tag there because you know what's going on, or?
I mean, it would take 20 years.
Really?
Right now, it's like 18, 19 years of points for a non-resident to get a tag in that unit. And with point creep, it'll probably be 30 by the time I could get a tag, if not more. So it should make me like a 70-plus-year-old man. So what's the point of that?
Yeah, no. Just
what about have you thought about maybe other states that are easier to draw bull tag,
definitely,
but not Colorado?
Definitely, no. I'm getting points in Colorado and Wyoming and Montana. I may start putting in for points in Utah, but what I'm probably going to do also is Utah has other units where you can hunt any bull and it's still like over the counter. So I'm thinking that I'm going to maybe try that next year and then keep building points till I can get into like some better areas of Colorado, just less pressured,
The good thing about it is, and I'm never been elk hunting, so I'm talking on my ass, but from what I've heard is you're at least building experience, so you're learning how to hunt elk and kill elk before you actually get that tag. Like some
Yeah.
guys will put in and put in and put in and put in and never hunt. Then they draw that tag and they have no idea what they're doing. So at least you're building reps and experience, and you're getting trips under your belt. So when you do get that bull tag, you're 3, 4, 5, 6 years knowing what you're doing.
Exactly. And in the meantime, like, the meat, y'all, is next level.
Is it really?
Dude, like, as soon as I ate it, I was like, why am I shooting deer? This is awesome. And my wife is like that too. She's like, okay, I guess we're doing elk every year now.
Sweet.
Yeah, dude.
Winning.
Those words came out of her mouth. I'm not kidding you. So, yeah, the elk is
who's
top. Oh, that's
food's ready.
We're roasting a duck right now.
That's fine. I'm just making sure it's not me.
Alarm off.
Yeah. Food's done. Dinner's ready.
Trev's making microwave.
Yeah.
I guess that's an appropriate time to let you guys know that dinner's about ready, so I should probably bounce.
That's good. Fisher, we really appreciate it, man. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you, follow along with what you got going on, or if they're in the local area and they want to learn and get apprentice license, like what they need to do to find you.
Yeah, so I'm pretty easy to find. You can search Learn to Hunt in New York City, and you'll find me really fast. Got a website, can sell hunts through that. On Instagram and TikTok, I'm at Hunting Actor. I do a lot of foraging content on the TikTok because they don't like the hunting content that much over there. And pretty soon, probably next spring, I'm going to launch a YouTube series called Hunter's Harvest, which I didn't talk about at all. But yeah, it's a cool thing. I'll have to tell you about it.
Let's have you on again.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Yeah, let's we'll plan something, because I think we're always trying to find somebody in the foraging world, because I think that foraging is super cool. So maybe in the spring around turkey's time, we'll have you back on to talk about some foraging, and probably around that time then the Hunter's Harvest will come out, so we can talk about that too.
Heck yeah, man.
Because mushroom people are super weird, and if you're not a hunter and a forager, then it's a different world, right? So
it is a different world. I thought there would be more overlap when I first really got into the mushrooms, and it's like no, like it's like these people, and there's only a few in the middle.
Yeah. I tried to learn about foraging through some people and went to some meetings and some other stuff, and I'm like, these are not my people. We don't live in the same world, man. Like,
No,
we don't. No. You hunt? Yeah. I hunt. Yeah, and I forage. Yeah.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, you'd think they'd go hand in hand. But.
Yeah, and the old timers at the butcher shop who've been hunting their whole life are like, you eat those things?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The hunting world, they're like, you don't get high from those things? Like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
It's like, bro, this is like pure gold, and you're just walking right by it, like on the way to your tree stand.
I think more people have come to the acceptance of it and kind of like it.
Definitely. It's definitely growing in popularity.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, Fisher, good luck to you this season. Good luck to your clients, and we'll definitely be following along, and we look forward to that spring foraging with you. And for everybody else, make sure to go check out Fisher, and we appreciate y'all. Thanks for taking the ride right here on the Outdoor Drive.